Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I've made a few videos on laser hair removal and electrolysis and they've gone viral and gotten me featured in People magazines. I decided I should make a long YouTube video discussing everything you need to know about laser hair removal, electrolysis, my hairy journey, what I wish I knew, what I wish I did differently, because I've made a lot of mistakes. I've spent a lot of time and money on this. I've cried tears, I've been burnt, I've had adverse effects, and I'm going to discuss it all here with you so you don't make the same mistakes I did. I first started noticing my own body hair when I was about 11 years old. So I started shaving my legs then, which was probably not the best idea. I literally still have a scar on my leg the length of my calf because I peeled my skin off. I was left alone with a razor and that was definitely not okay. I knew absolutely nothing about hair growth, what was normal, how to take care of it, what methods of hair removal there were. Over years and years of wanting to get rid of hair, starting from my legs to my armpits to then my mustache and my sideburns, I started discovering things like Nair hair cream. And Nair is essentially a chemical that burns off your hair. And I actually really enjoyed this because it was easy and it worked. However, I had chemical burns from using it. So I stopped using that. I also do try to limit the amount of chemicals I put on my skin and ingest. You know, your skin is your largest organ, so you want to be somewhat conscious. I like to be like in a middle ground because I think it's not reasonable to be like fully, integrated into the holistic side of, organics and whatnot. I like to do it as much as possible. But then again, I'm also a girl that loves being in the beauty industry, and the beauty industry hasn't quite turned over to the holistic alternative medicine side yet. So there are times where I'll use bleach on my face, for example, to bleach my hair because I hate seeing hair on my face. And I have learned over time that that works for me. I'm going to be talking a lot about a lot of things. If it doesn't resonate, it's not for you. But I'm just talking about every method I've tried, everything I like, everything I don't like, and obviously do your own research. If it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't align with your morals, or if it doesn't align with your values, like please don't use it. But yeah, I definitely developed an insecurity about my hair. I just knew that it wasn't something that made me feel confident. I didn't like having hairy legs. I didn't like seeing, hair sticking out of my leggings or whatever. I didn't like the feeling of it. So I started getting laser hair removal as soon as I was able to get it. I started getting them on Groupon and I really liked the results. And eventually, when I started to have my big girl money, I wanted to spend it on getting hair everywhere removed. So my assumption was that laser hair removal was permanent because it's marketed everywhere as a permanent hair removal. I still to this day see clinics marketing it as such, and it makes me so mad. And that's also a red flag for me. When I see people marketing it as permanent and not semi-permanent, I immediately don't go to that clinic. I don't like shaving. I'm a very low effort type of person. I like to do high maintenance things to remain low maintenance. Like, let me clarify also, if you have hair in literally anywhere, butt cheeks, back, hair, on your arms, whatever it is, that is completely normal. Women, and if you're a man watching this, women have hair everywhere that men have. And as a woman of color and from the regions that I'm from, I grow a lot of hair. It's normal. It's completely normal. And I wish that more people told that to me before I had gone on this journey, because I felt very alienated and ostracized for having hair. And that's initially why I started. And now it's just a preference. I do enjoy being hairless. Whether that's me conforming to societal expectations, I can never really know, because really, would we be doing anything to upkeep ourselves if there weren't societal expectations? That's a discussion for another day. So I eventually started treating not just my legs. I had initially started just treating my legs in bikini, and that was scrumdiddlyumptious. Loved it, right? Was doing it for years, kind of on and off, wasn't consistent enough. I had done at least like 20 sessions, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not being consistent. That's why I have to go back. So then I committed to a 10 area package deal, and I think this was with Ideal Image. I'll have to fact check because it's been a little while, but I'm going to be calling out names and I want to make sure I'm calling them accurately. I got sold on, doing this 10 area deal. I did the full course, I think, of 10 or 12. I'll have to look back and pick up those notes. I did the full course, and throughout that course, I was burned multiple times. Yes, multiple times. I still have scars on my arm to this day from the burns that I sustained. I also was burned on my cooter and my scooter. I would literally leave my appointments with an ice pack. I would sit on an ice pack. It was really bad. There were times where I would literally cry before going into an appointment because I was like, I'm gonna be in pain, I'm gonna be in pain. And I have a high pain tolerance, okay? I do. Eventually, when I ended up getting the burns on my arm, they were so severe that my technician was like freaking out. And she was giving me steroid creams. I left with like a bag of steroid creams. And then I was like, showing my family and kind of laughing. Ah, look, I have burns for life. He's so funny. And my family was like, bae, like, you are severely burnt right now. You have been walking like a duck for a week because you're so burnt. And then the burns on your arms are insane. So at that point, I was reaching out to them. I was talking to their front desk. I was being given the runaround. It literally took me months, like long story short, months and months and months and months just to get contact with the right people to let them know, like, hey, listen, like, I was severely burnt. Like, I want a refund. Like, I'm in pain. I'm severely scarred. Like, I have to pay for all these treatments now to like fix it. And they were like, oh, well, unfortunately, like the time has actually elapsed based on your contract. Like, we actually don't have the ability to do anything about that. In the fine print, it said you could get burnt. Sorry. So, like, they literally gave me the runaround for months to like make sure they didn't have any liability. Anyway, I guess the point in me sharing that is just like to give you awareness that like these big corporations, unfortunately, usually don't give a fuck about you. And you need to advocate yourself for yourself and make sure that you're doing your research when you're going to places. And don't get fooled when they say that it's permanent. They mean like it's semi permanent. If you have the ideal circumstances for their treatment to work, it might be permanent. But otherwise, you might have burns, you might have paradoxical hair growth, which is what I'm going to get into next. Laser hair removal is not a guarantee. I still need maintenance. I think this is how many years have I been doing this? 11 years. I'm 11 years in. Oh my God. And like, do I love my results on my legs? Yeah, I do. I love my results on my legs and on my bikini. Even though I need maintenance, like I've accepted that. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'd still rather get laser than shave or wax or thread it, like whatever. I'm happy with that. But I just wish that I had known in advance what I would be going into a lifelong journey. So let's talk about paradoxical hair growth. I went to this place called Laser Away. Yes, I'm calling out people. Okay. I'm not saying they're evil. I'm not saying that they're always going to be the worst place ever and never go there or whatever. I'm just talking about my experience. Okay. All right. Initially, I actually was going to see if I could get a reception job. And the receptionist was like, oh my gosh, I love working here. Like, I get free treatments. Let me sign you up. Like, da 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 da. So I put in my resume. And at the same time, she's like, you're more likely to get a job here if you actually get the treatments here. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I need to get my hair removed anyway. So I sign up for a package deal, but I do it for my face because what was bothering me the most was my mustache and my sideburns. But she's like, girl, treat your whole face. Like, what are you doing? So I do that. I do that. Stupid, 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 stupid. What I didn't know is that using the wrong laser or using the wrong energy for the type of hair can actually stimulate your hair follicles. Yeah, it stimulated my hair follicles within months. Within months. I was like, oh, I have like some peach fuzz on my sideburns. Well, now you have a beard, bitch. Yeah, so that was fun. I had years of it just developing worse and worse and worse, but I noticed it literally like a month after my first treatment. I was like, that's weird. It was one long hair on my neck. Then it was two long hairs on my neck. Then I'm starting to grow a little bit of something here. Oh, is that chin hairs? Oh, my mustache is fully grown. Oh my God, I'm competing with the men I'm dating with who can grow a better beard. So eventually it got bad enough to where I was like, I'm literally insecure walking outside. Like, I hate this. I'm like talking to people like this because I don't want them to look at my chin. And that's when I find electrolysis. So, electrolysis, which I didn't know at the time, is the only proven permanent hair removal process. So laser uses like a laser. It's like this big, they have different types of lasers. There's the Alexandria, there's the YAG, there's the diode laser. The Alexandria is a strong one used better for fairer skin type. The diode is versatile but less aggressive, and the YAG is safer on deeper skin tones. I've used all three in different instances. Electrolysis, though, is like a little tiny baby needle that they insert into the pore, go against the follicle like this, and they zap it and they pull it out. It's not a pluck. Okay, I'm gonna also get into like how to know who's a good electrolysis because I've been to like 12. They zap it, it loosens itself, right? Literally, they're cauterizing it at the stream of blood flow. So they're cauterizing it and then they do that to each individual one. Beep, 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 beep. So it's literally needle, zap, needle, zap. It's like a little mosquito that has a lightning bolt in it. Is it fun? No. This also requires a lot more consistency. They're both processes that require consistencies. I'll talk about my maintenance and like what I'm doing now at the end of the video, but laser typically you need to go back like when you're first starting every 6 to 8 weeks or so. Some places say 12 weeks, but for me it was usually 6 to 8 weeks. I had to go back and get my next. For electrolysis, I was in that bitch every single week for 2 years. 2 years. And it was like $85 a session. And I could only last like about 30 minutes because that shit's painful. So I started doing electrolysis in end of 2022. I think it was August 2022. It is now April 2026. and I'm going every like 2 weeks now. It's much, 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 much better. I definitely have my confidence back. I'm not worried about it. It doesn't affect me on day-to-day life. Before it was like becoming detrimental, but definitely see a big difference. When the hair dies with electrolysis, it's gone. It's dead. She gone. However, hormonal fluctuations, especially with us women, right? You get pregnant, like different things happen in your life. Those can create new hairs. So in that instance, it's not permanent, but it is permanent. It's permanent. So with electrolysis, I had a technician in London whom I loved. I had two different technicians I tried in Paris. I had multiple, I think three different technicians I tried in DC and Maryland, one in New York, two in Miami, one in Dallas. She's amazing. Four or three in LA. And I have one that I really, really like in LA. Two that are pretty good, but one that is very quick with her work. And I like that. So what I look for with electrologist technicians is I want someone who can work fast because they're literally like zap pluck, zap pluck, zap pluck. I want them to go quickly because I don't want to sit through that shit. Also, because time is money. If I'm sitting there for 30 minutes and you pluck 3 hairs, I still have to pay $85. So I'd rather you be quick with your work because it's better for both of us. Secondly, if I feel that they are plucking my hairs out as opposed to them just sliding out or just feeling the zap and nothing else, the pluck, red flag. You should not be plucking my hair out because you know what you're doing? You are stimulating more blood flow, babe. No, that means you're not zapping it properly and not at the proper frequency. So I also look for not burning. Like if I have like bruises and scabs consistently, red flag. There's also like different types of electrolysis treatments. So there's like one where you're holding something metal. I forget how that one works because I didn't do it often. They did that one in Paris and a couple people in the US do that method too. But the other version is like a pedal and it's just like quick. It's very quick. Okay, so let's talk about pre-care, aftercare. No sun exposure, obviously. So I was like pale as fuck for years when I was getting my laser hair removal. Now I'm a little bit more lenient with it because I only go in for my maintenance, which again I'm going to talk about in a second. So pre-care, you don't want to be in the sun for at least 2 weeks. Aftercare, lots of aloe. I don't work out the day of, and I try to wait like 24 hours before working out. No hot showers and nice recovery bombs, things like that. There's a recovery bomb from Kiehl's that I really, really like. Usually I do get a little bit sore with a little bit of like, you can tell like something was done, like redness, aggravation, but I've been using Ectoin, which there's a spray called Mami Wada, Idem Gratis, that has it in there. There's also just Ectoin serum from Paula's Choice that I've been using. And then there's recovery cream from Kiehl's that I really like. Those three things have helped me a lot. In a nutshell, if you are someone who has hair on your face is a very hormonal area. Do not get laser, all right? If you're using it, the only way I would say it's acceptable is if it's like because you're trying to keep up with it. Like let's say you're using a mixture of electrolysis with laser with a technician that really knows what they're doing and like can combine both. Like okay, then maybe that, because I did that at first. There was like just to help manage it initially, but right now like I would not touch laser on my face. No. No, 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 no. Just electrolysis. Skip the middleman. If you're trying to get rid of some chin hairs or your mustache, go to electrolysis. You will have to be consistent. You will have to lock in. And every time your hair grows back, that's how you treat it. Every time it grows back, you go back, right? If you're not willing to commit, bleach it, because if it's peachy and it's not coarse, right? Bleaching it is going to solve most of your issues because you're not going to see it. It's just going to catch the light. Catching the light is cute. If it's really dark, it's more obvious, So lighten that bitch. If I could start all over, I would have just lasered my legs, my bikini, and maybe my booty hole. Like that is the only place. Oh, and my underarms. Great places. Everywhere else I would not touch. I would not touch it. I've also heard of like an oil that people use. Like it's like a ant seed oil or something, like some ant eggs. I don't know. It's some like weird thing. And people are like, oh, I swear by it, it gets rid of my hair. So let me know if you've tried that one or that other oil, like Camille oil. I don't even know what it's called, but I have them in a list. I have like a little folder where I write down a bunch of like different herbs and tinctures because that's kind of one of my hobbies. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but if you've tried those and you know what I'm talking about, let me know what you think because I would love to try that. But yeah, all in all, price breakdown, I pay $85 per 30 minutes. I've heard people say that they charge up to $200 per 30 minutes. They are ripping you off. Don't go to that person. For electrolysis and for laser, I've had package deals anywhere from like $100 a session to, $600 a session. Like there are definitely huge price ranges. Personally, if you're you're just starting, do it right. Go to a place that is notable, probably not on Groupon. Groupon, I feel like it's a bad rep, honestly. I find some good places on there, but if it's like dirt cheap, like do your research. And if the person does not, if you go to a place with laser and they do not know what paradoxical hair growth is or don't let you know that that's a possibility, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying my best to help you and to save you a lot of money and heartbreak. Ultimately, just know that body hair is normal. It is totally fine to have some body hair, but some of us have PCOS, some of us have hormonal imbalances, some of us would just like to reduce the amount of hair we have or are uncomfortable or have bad reactions to shaving and waxing and whatever else. Totally fine. We are not judging anybody for what they choose to do or not to do for their body and what they're comfortable with, okay? This is just a video to help put out information all in one place because it was a learning process for me and I wish there was a video like this for me. So, if you have anything else to add, if you've had any experiences, if you have any recommendations for people, please put them in the comments. In case you didn't know, my name is Bay. I am trying to be consistent with posting on YouTube. So, I'm trying to post every week and I would love if you hit that subscribe button, a like, and let me know how you like this video. See you in my next one.